Good morning, students. Today we will start geography, chapter number 4th. The name of the chapter is agriculture. So try to understand and listen carefully. India is an agriculturally important country. How is our country? Agricultural country. Important agricultural country. Two-thirds of its population is engaged in agricultural activities. So our country is called agricultural country because two-thirds of population of our country is engaged, means the people, their main occupation is farming. Agriculture is a primary activity. So agriculture, how is the activity? Primary activity which produces most of the food and we consume, that we consume. So through the agriculture we get our food and we consume means we eat. So whatever the production, whatever the farm products we use for our we can say the survival, for eating purposes. Besides food grains, it is also produces raw material for various industries. Not only the food, the farming agriculture which provide not only food for us but also other material, raw material, we can say the raw material like sugar cane, that is a raw material for sugar factory, and cotton for that is a raw material for textile industry. So such type of raw material also produced through the agriculture. Can you name some industries based on agricultural raw material? Just I explained, just I told you. Sugarcane for sugar industry, cotton for textile industry. Moreover, besides, some agricultural products like tea, coffee, spices, etc. are also exported. Now we export, we send to another country. So these are products also, tea, coffee and spices. Now students, here we have to understand types of farming. Types of farming, try to understand and listen carefully. See the page number, all of you, 34 and 35. Types of farming. Agriculture is an age-old economic activity. Age-old economic activity means an ancient activity, very olden activity in our country. Over these years, means from so many years, cultivation methods have changed significantly depending upon the characteristic of physical environment, technological know-how, underline know-how, know-how means knowledge, and socio-cultural practices, means this is a significantly means important activity, and agriculture cultivation which is dependent on the characteristic of physical environment. How is a physical environment? So the people of that particular area, so they follow the another type of the types of farming that is dependent on the physical environment, and technical know-how means the people they have the knowledge of technology or not, and socio, how is the social culture as well as the people's religion and cultural practice. So we can see the effect over the agriculture. Farming varies, here varies means different from subsistence, underline here subsistence, one type kind, we can say the type of farming, subsistence farming and commercial farming. There are two types of farming. Farming varies means different from subsistence to commercial type. At present, in different parts of India, the following farming systems are practiced. So in our country we can see the different types of methods and systems the people they practice in their regions. So first of all we'll read primitive subsistence farming means what. This type of farming is still practiced in few pockets of India. Underline pockets means parts. This is the very ancient as well as the olden method which is practiced in a few areas in our country. Primitive subsistence agriculture is practiced on small patches of land with the help of primitive tools. Now, this is the primitive subsistence farming, means very olden farming method, which is done on a small patches, small part of the land, and cultivation which is done with the help of the primitive tools, very olden tools like a hoe, dao. Dao means we can say the a curved single edged blade tools which is used for slashing and chopping etc, and digging sticks and family and community labor. So such the subsistence farming which is done by these primitive we can say the tools and methods. This type of farming depends upon monsoon. This subsistence farming, primitive subsistence farming, is totally dependent on farming, we can say the monsoon, on nature, and natural fertility of the soil and suitability of other environmental condition to the crops grown. So this type of farming, subsistence farming, which is dependent on nature, totally nature. It is a slash and burn agriculture, another name. So primitive subsistence farming, which is known by another name, which is another name, slash and burn agriculture. It is known as the slash and burn agriculture also. Slash means cut down. It is a slash and burn agriculture. Farmers clear a patch of land. So why this primitive subsistence farming is known as a slash and burn agriculture? Because the farmers, they clear patch of land, they clear the forest. After clearing, they try to grow and cultivate their crops. Clear a patch of land and produce cereals. Underline cereals means edible grains and other food crops to sustain their family. So they cultivate, they produce edible crop as well as the other food crops for their families, not for the purpose of selling. When the soil fertility decreases, the farmers shift and clear a fresh patch of land for cultivation. So in this method, the farmers, they don't use any type of fertilizers. So when the fertility decreases, so they shift the patch of land and they select another fresh patch of land for cultivation. This type of shifting allows nature to replenish. Underline, replenish means renew the fertility of the soil. Now see this page, fertility of soil through natural process. So fertility of soil increases how? By natural way, without using any fertilizers and chemicals. Land productivity in this type of agriculture is low as the farmer does not use fertilizers or other modern input. So in this method, farmers, they don't use any type of modern inputs, modern technology and modern methods. So we can see their land production, agricultural production is very low. It is known by different names in different parts of the country. So primitive subsistence farming, which is known by another name also in our country, in different parts of the country. So how? So we'll read here. Can you name some such types of farming? It is zooming. Underline zooming, this word. It is zooming in northeastern state like zoom cultivation, means primitive subsistence farming, as well as the slash and burn farming. So different names. It is zooming in northeastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. Pamlu in Manipur, Dipa in Bastar district of Chhattisgarh and in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So here zooming, you will read this paragraph, and remaining whatever here we will read in next clip. Thank you very much.